So, for anyone that has probably spent any amount of time like using Linux, you've probably run into needing to use a man page or two or trying to reference something with the man page. If you haven't, then you haven't used the command line, and that's okay. But man pages are really, really nice things to have. They give you a nice handy reference of many, many commands. So if I were to man, and let's use the ls program that I've been using, it gives you this this whole list of options and things that you've got in for your program, and it gives you the ways to use it. And so it's got these different sections and everything and what have you as well. So if you have and if you've spent any time, you know that some programs don't always have man pages. And so more than likely in your Linux system, you've actually got a guide for writing man pages built in too. Now, I wasn't quite aware of this when I kind of first started. So, for example, when I did a Flash GBX video a little bit ago, and there was no man page for it. And so I decided, you know what, maybe I'll just take the few minutes or whatever it takes to write up a man page for it. And so that's what I've done. I've already submitted the pull request, and hopefully, things go through. But the point is, I was kind of looking around, okay, what kind of really goes into it? I know what they look like at the end, but really, and I know like vaguely Groff is generally used for writing a man page, but really what kind of like information in essence makes a man page? And so if you, just like I did here, you type man, it brings up the man page for the man command, which is the command that pulls up man pages, or your manuals pages, and it gives you not only references for how to use the command, but it also gives you a small blurb about what general sections are in a man page, the kind of conventions that you see in certain sections of the man page, and so on. So you've got it gives you all the options and things like that for the man page. But the more important part that I was looking for was this part right here, where it talks about the conventional section names and stuff like that, and then going over the synopsis as well. So these are really helpful sections. And then the next thing you might be looking for, so how do I actually type it up? So if you go Groff man, this brings up the man page for writing out for using how to write your man page, basically. And so it gives you the quick and dirty reference up here, but most of this man page is reference for the overview for like the different macros for Groff, which is pretty much what a man page is a typeset sheet, and then you can convert that into different formats. Like you'll see man pages on HTML websites about how to use stuff, and they basically have the same man page that they convert into different formats using Groff. And so it'll use the man macros for those and then convert it into like an HTML and things like that, because Groff is basically a typesetting program. But the man command actually does pretty well at using the raw text with the Groff macros. So here I've got my fork of Flash GBX that I did with the man page. So if I just open it up in my text editor, it looks like a fat mess of stuff. I've got escape sequences and things like that in here. So if I go man minus L, which if you look at the man page for man, it tells you that so it tells you that it, let's see, down here. So local file. So I'm assuming that this is the right way to use it, because looking at it, it's like local file and then you give it the file. So you go man minus L and then the file name. In this case, I just go $F because that is the shortcut in LF for the currently highlighted file. So now it looks really nice, that text file that I showed you. The things I have may not be exact to conventions. Was kind of trying to look at stuff, double reference things, and make sure that everything was up to snuff so that it didn't look weird. But I may have a couple things wrong, like I may have the flashcards type wrong here with the square brackets around it. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff can be easily fixed. I only wrote out a couple sections, so like the options and the examples are the kind of the main thing, which I used the help output from the Python, the source code, in order to write this up. So it's more convenient. And so if we compare it to, let's go with, compare it with MPV's man page. If we go, we've got all the shortcuts and whatnot that it lists. And then as we go down, mouse control, usage. So I didn't include all of this detail, but you can see they've got a lot of, you can add a lot to it. I'm sure Flash GBX, once you get down into it, you can really make the Flash GBX man page look a lot like MPV. So I did not include any config like locations in it, so I didn't think that was necessary. But I mean, down the road it may be, so that can be worked out later on, I think. But so if we go back to the text, so when writing stuff out, some of it is kind of like, does this feel right, is how I was kind of running with it. But I actually really like how it turned out, because I knew I could do it, but how simple it was really kind of surprised me, because I didn't expect it to be so easy. And yet here we are, and it's all done. So if you have a program that you want to write a man page for that you have kind of put off, that like, this is just jump in and do it. It's really simple to typeset your man page this way. And all the tools are there, like right on your system. If you're running a Linux or Unix type system, all the tools are there to help you write it up and give you a quick reference. It's literally like, what? Probably somewhere between, probably, I'd say around 10 keystrokes away to get to it. Because like, and then once you have it, it's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13 characters away. Maybe 14-ish keystrokes, depending on your keyboard configuration. And you've got 2 different places that you can go to and look at for everything that you need to write up your man page. So whether you're writing a new program or you're creating a man page for a program that doesn't have a man page yet, it's a great experience to like put one together. So if you found this helpful, informative, if you have had many programs that you have been frustrated with and you want them to finally have a man page or a reference that you can go back to, you can either refer the developers to this video or you can write it up yourself and contribute to the project that you want to have that reference for. And so, yeah, join the Discord for any questions that way if you're like super confused and whatnot. And I will see you guys in the next one.